don't come for peace, I come for the storm. Fanboys melt quick when the truth gets warm. Saw content's high, I'm collecting those tears. Just got started, but I'm cutting through fears. I'm not here for brand deals, I'm not for sale. I expose your lies, rip off the veil.
Oh boy, Dre just cannot handle that the third-party support isn't doing as well as a lot of people thought. Let's get into it.
Alright, so it is way too early for this Nintendo Switch 2 third-party sales doom.
Oh, it's never too early. Come on, Dre, you know better than that. You've been on YouTube for how long? And you're going to sit there and say it's too damn early? Come on, man. You know people are going to be coming out saying this.
Rhetoric. It's way too early.
It will never be too early, Dre.
This morning it was reported by thegamebusiness.com that most third-party Switch 2 games have posted very low numbers.
Well, does that surprise you, Dre? I mean, come on here. Nintendo is not known for having a huge third-party support to begin with. There's a reason why. The third-party games were not selling extremely well before.
And one third-party publisher says that the numbers were below our lowest.
Well, what do you expect? From what I can tell, let's just go with the Switch 1. Between the top 102 games sold on the Nintendo Switch, 16 of them were third parties. And one of them that I can remember of those 16 started off as a Switch exclusive and then went third party. So you got only 16 of 102 that cracked the top 102 games sold on the Switch. So of course, even with this one, third-party games are not going to sell as good as the first party when it comes to Nintendo. As long as I can remember, that's how it's always been.
Estimates despite strong hardware sales. It said Cyberpunk 2077 was the best third-party selling game.
Well, of course, and it was on it was fully on the cartridge itself. In my opinion, with all those third-party games, there was really only 3. If I was to get a Switch 2, there would only be 3 that I would run out and buy if I've never played them. And that would have been Cyberpunk 2077, it would have been Street Fighter 6, and it would have been the Yakuza 0 game. Because the reason why with the rest of the third-party games, eventually they're going to go down in price.
Surprise, surprise, it's because it has the game on the cart and it looks and performs great.
See, there you go. Even you said it. I want to say that it performs amazing. It still has some bugs and glitches that should have been polished out.
And is one of the best games on the system, so of course.
Yeah, so far for all Switch 2 titles, that probably is the best game on the Switch 2.
This article is now floating around and people are trying to use this as proof that, well, of course, like people, they just want first party games on the Switch 2.
Well, for the most part, Dre, that's how it's always been. You have to understand, when you look at all the games that were selling on that Switch 1, do you think if they would have had the exact same third-party support that PS5 and Xbox One had, do you think those Switch 1 games would have sold as well? All of Nintendo's first-party titles, do you think it would have gotten as many sales as it did? People can only afford so many video games, so when you are getting the third-party games to come in, it's either the first-party Nintendo titles are going to take a hit, or the third-party titles are going to take a hit. And most likely, I'm going to assume that Nintendo's going to want the third-party to take a hit over their own.
Nintendo owners don't care about third-party and blah, 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 blah.
I mean, the Switch 1 kind of showed that.
It is way too early for this kind of talk.
Again, it is never too early for this kind of talk.
The Switch 2 has literally been out 2 weeks.
And for it being out for only 2 weeks, you got to understand, Mario Kart World is not a game that people are going to sit there and play non-stop for hours and hours and hours unless you have people to play with. So they're going to need some single-player fixes. And if they're not getting it with a third party, where are they getting it at?
And we're already talking about third-party sales doom.
Well, the third party are the ones that came out and said it. What do you expect? People need content. What do you think they're going to talk about? Dre, be more realistic here.
There's quite a few things to point out here.
Yes, like you having no editing skills even though you've been on YouTube for how long?
First, the fact that the large majority of these games are old.
No shit. That's what most of us have been saying. We've been saying, but people are like, oh, but it's new to this platform, so that's going to be a big deal. That's what a lot of Nintendo people were saying there, Dre.
Yes, and some of them are very old, right? So expecting a lot of these older titles.
Well, the way a lot of Nintendo fanboys hyped up this launch lineup, yes, we were expecting them to be sold more. Obviously, the third-party people thought they were going to sell more too, but maybe you should thank Nintendo for that, not giving out any review units before launch.
To just start selling, hopping off the shelves and selling out.
Well, selling out is kind of a stretch. You can never sell out of a game, especially a digital version of a game, because you can always go buy another one. But yes, they were expecting to sell more. A lot of them were. And honestly, Mario Kart World isn't the single-player game. Welcome Tour is a freaking joke. Fast Fusion, that's a fun game too, but again, it's not going to keep you entertained for days and hours and hours. So you need a single-player fix somewhere, and Nintendo didn't give it to them. So where did they go get it? If they're not getting it from the third-party games that are coming out, well, they might be with some, but someone's complaining that they're not selling that much. So where are they getting that first-party fix from, huh?
Being full price when they've been on other systems, a lot of these games, for years, at a cheaper price, and look better in most cases.
Well, that's what I've been saying, but I've been getting ridiculed for saying that kind of stuff, Doc Trey.
Expecting them to just fly off the shelves right away at full price on the Switch 2, depending on the game really, that's not even reasonable.
Well, it's not like that everyone's coming up with this stuff. The third-party developers are the ones who are saying a lot of this stuff. They're the one, one of the games, the developer was the one that came out and said, or the publisher, came out and said that, oh, it didn't meet our expectations. We can't control that. People are going to report on it. People need content. This is what's going to happen, Dr. You're just going to have to accept it.
Also, we have to add in the fact that the majority of these third-party games are keycard games, and a lot of people, at least right now, claim they refuse to purchase any game keycard games.
Yes, and good job for whoever is doing that. You continue to hold that line. I wish you guys would have done it against Mario Kart World, though.
So there's already a negative stigma there. There's already people that think that there are actually no physical games.
Which there are some, but whose fault is that? That's Nintendo's fault.
On the Switch 2, believe it or not, because of articles and misinformation that has floated around.
There are some physical games, trust me. Look at Mario Kart World. I was hoping that game wasn't going to sell. Boy, was I wrong.
So yeah, no, it's not really a surprise that a lot of these third-party games have not been flowing and flying off the shelves yet.
Well, some of the third-party publishers are finding it a problem. They're the ones that came out with the information.
But what people need to realize here is, one, like I said, the system has only been out 2 weeks.
I understand the system's only been out 2 weeks, but look at Expedition 33. Look how many copies that sold within the first day alone.
It's only been out 2 weeks. The system is somewhat expensive.
Somewhat? Well, yes, compared to Japan, it is very expensive. And the games are expensive. And if you truly enjoy this content, why don't you think about becoming a member? It's only $1 a month. You get special kind of badges, you get special kind of emotes, and at the end of all my videos, I will sit here and shout out all my members until it becomes too long, and then it'll be turned into a credit roll. So that's going to be it for my reaction. Let me know down in the comments if you agree with me or not. Please like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, stay vigilant.
You can cry in the comments, but you won't survive. Like and subscribe if you feel that vibe. We're hot and salty tears.